I don't know if this is going to work, but I don't know if I don't try. So here we go. For all I know, this camera just might move. It might move while I'm driving. And if that happens, there's nothing I can do about it because I'll be driving. And I gotta be safe. But I think this setup might work. Yeah, we'll see. I think this setup just might work. All right. Where'd my drink go? All right, so I am still on my pet sitting job. I'm still on my pet sitting job. And I just left the boys for the day. It's a 12-hour job, but I've actually been staying longer than that. Excuse me, as I take a drink. Drinking some what do you call this stuff? Starbucks pink drink. I've been getting carried away with the Coca-Colas lately, so I thought I'd do something different. But anyways, I just left the home of the Poodle brothers that I'm taking care of. I'm actually only I'm only supposed to be staying there 12 hours a day. That's what overnight stay is. But I'm being generous with my time because I don't have a lot of stuff going on right now, and so I can dedicate some of that extra free time to hanging out with them. So yeah, the overnight stay is 12 hours, which means if I get there at 7 at night, I'd leave at 7 in the morning. If I get there at 8 at night, I'd leave at 8 in the morning, and so forth. I might modify. I knew something would change. I might modify my pet sitting once after this, because I feel like proper dog care and proper pet care, I feel like needs a little bit more than 12 hours. If a parent is home or someone is there, hey now, if someone is there and you're literally just going to be there overnight, I think it's different. But this person is out of town, which means I'm the only point of pet care for these guys. And I know when I eat my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or if I drink something in a couple of hours, just a couple of hours, I've got to go to the bathroom. So I don't feel comfortable leaving them, even though it's in my service agreement. I'm going to be there 12 hours, feed them, water them, let them outside, take them for a walk, and then do whatever else I need to do within 12 hours and leave. But I personally don't feel comfortable leaving them there after they've eaten and drank for 12 hours. So that's what, if I was there for 12 hours overnight, I'm officially, legally free to leave them for 12 hours. But yeah, I don't want to do that. So I've been staying a little bit longer than 12 hours. And so anyways, I'm leaving the Poodle boys. It's a quarter to 12. I checked my email before I left and got note that my yard sign is complete. About 2 weeks ago. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago, I decided to make the commitment to get an official yard sign, not the corrugated plastic ones that I can get made up real cheap, like for garage sales and whatnot. I got an official one that is going to be made out of metal and aluminum, and it cost me, was it 65 or 85? I gotta look at my invoice again. But I decided to go ahead and invest in an official permanent yard sign that's going to say pet sitting and dog walking. And I'm hoping that my neighbors and my local community will see that sign, and I'll be able to get more local jobs and, yeah, increase my income there. So the experience I've had, I don't know if I went to a company called Fast Signs. I don't know if Fast Signs is like a franchise that's all over the United States. I don't know if they're nationwide or if they are just local here to the Fort Worth area or Metroplex. I know there's a couple around town, but I don't know if there's any like everywhere else. But the point is, it's a major brand that makes like decals, signs, banners, things, flags, things like that. And so I went in about 2 weeks ago. I told them what I wanted and put my deposit in, which I was kind of like upset because I'm like, my thought was, okay, I'm going to meet with you guys, decide on what the design's going to be, approve it, and then put my money down. Then you make it and I pick it up. But they wanted me to put money down first before they even pushed it through to the designer. I'm like, okay, whatever. But like 2 or 3 days later, I got an email saying, here's your proofs. And I'm like, what proofs are they talking about? I never talked to anybody. I made my deposit, and the graphic designer for the day had already went home. And the customer service guy at the front desk, he said, well, they'll probably call you on Monday because I did it on a Friday. They'll probably call you back Monday and, touch bases with you to discuss. I left him my business information, including my business line phone number, my logo, the current logo that like I use here on the channel and on my business cards, so you can see my colors and whatnot. And I told him, I said I want it really, really simple. I literally wanted to say dog walker, pet sitter, my phone number, and if you have a space on there, put my little cutesy logo on there, not big, just to be seen, right? Just in the corner somewhere. And then if your designer decides, to make it more streamlined and simple, hey, we'll make it look like this. I'm like, I'm really cool and flexible. Just these are the colors that I want to kind of match. But yeah, I got the email, and the email was like, yeah, here's the proofs for your sign. I'm thinking, how can they have proofs when I've never been consulted with? So I looked at the proofs. They gave me 3 designs. One was like a stock footage of a puppy and a kitten sleeping together, like napping. And it was kind of cute, but I'm like, that's not what I asked for. The other one, they literally took my logo that I showed for reference, blew it up, and I think put like some letters around it, like my phone number, whatnot. And that's not really what I wanted. I specifically didn't want that because I told him, I said, I like the cute little design, but I don't like the lettering. It was a cheap logo I got done years ago when I had my other YouTube channel. And it is what it is. It's a funky little design, but you can't really read the word. It's too squiggly. It's for a sign that's going to be read from the street. I wanted it to be clear. So I told them, I don't want to use this logo because the text can't be read. I'm giving this to you for reference so you can see my colors, so to pull from it. So yeah, I was quite upset when I saw the proof, so-called proof, and they just blew my logo up. to put on the sign. I'm like, that's not what I asked for. And then the third one was something with like some generic looking paw prints on it and something else. And I'm like, I sent them an email back and I was like, this is not what I want. When am I going to get a chance to talk to the designer? Now, granted, for the most part, I like going to small mom and pop places because I feel like they need the business more than the big person does. And also I feel like you would get more one-on-one attention. Not so, I'll save a story time for another time for the t-shirts that I've had done. You gonna go, brother? I got my blinker on for a reason. Go ahead, Tesla. I don't get road rage, but I do be talking to people. I talk to people all the time when I'm on the road. I'm like, go ahead, your turn, not mine. But anyways, I had another experience with a small mom and pop shop for my t-shirts that I got made up. I'll save that for another story time. But anyways, but I ended up going with Fast Signs. Like I said, they're a bigger company, and I was hoping to get like a fast turnaround time. So I sent them the email and let them know I wasn't happy. Please let me know when I'll be able to talk to a designer, so I can talk about what I want and what I don't want. They apologized. They said, yeah, I jumped the gun on that. I was just trying to get your, service done quickly. But quick don't mean right. Anyways, we went back and forth through the emails, them showing me different proofs. So here's the thing, like, I didn't want them to be lazy and take what I gave them and just copy paste it. I wanted to give them some creative freedom and with them being a big company, I thought, oh, they're going to be professionals. I'll let the professionals handle this. And because I don't know that much about business, so sometimes I don't want things to be like too clunky looking or too cluttered, or this isn't the right height, this isn't the right color scheme. I'm trusting them because they're professionals, and I want to influence the idea, but I want them to be able to make it professional looking. And that was the thing. I thought I was going to go back and forth with them and figure out what the design was going to be, which is why I told them, hey, this is my logo, don't copy paste it, it's just a reference. So they ended up, the second time go around, they ended up giving me, and I sent them a reference. So if you look at the thumbnail, I apologize if this is crooked. I got my tripod in here that I typically record with. It's not made for driving, but it's what I got now because I don't have one for my dash, and it's tilted. Anyways, if you look at the thumbnail that I put on this live stream, I sent them that, and I sent them my logo. I said, I want something similar to this. You see how you got color at the top, color at the bottom, white space in the middle. That way you can put the phone number on the white space, black print, real easy to read. And you can put dog walker on one of those color stripes. You can put pet walker on one of the pet sitter on one of the other stripes. Pretty easy, pretty simple. That's what I thought I was going for, a nice streamlined look. And I thought they were either going to agree and say, yeah, that looks good, or, hey, let's tighten it up like this, whatever. The second go around, I don't want to bad mouth them, because we're going to end up there. That's where I'm on my way to, just so you know. I'm actually on my way to pick up the sign. So I don't want to bad mouth them, but I do want to give an honest opinion. The second go around, it looked so amateur. It looked amateur. It looked like I did it myself. It looked like I was doing it and trying to figure out. Sorry, I'm trying to fix that tilt, but I'm just going to leave it alone. It looked like an amateur did it, and they were like, oh, I think this looks good. This looks good enough. You know what I'm saying? It looked good enough. And it wasn't balanced. It wasn't even. When I get home, I'll probably make a short, and the short will show my idea, their idea. Oh shoot! I think I just took the wrong exit. Oh boo! That's what I get for so-called trying to live stream. I should have took that other exit that would have took me, because I'm going out to Arlington right now, the Arlington Fast Signs. But that's okay. I just have to get off the freeway and get back on. Yeah, it looked very amateur. It didn't look neat. It looked like, and I'm just interpreting it from my own perspective. It looked like, oh man, I've got 50 orders in today. I gotta push them out as quick as I can. Oh, this lady, she just wants this, that, and the other. Okay, boom, boom, boom. It just didn't look like they took their time, and so I wrote them another email. I said, I'm very unpleased with this. No, and I even got a little emotional. I said, I think I'm starting to get frustrated here. This is not what I want. Please do it. And then I felt like I was micromanaging. I don't want to micromanage them, I want to give them the creative freedom to do it in a professional way that a graphic artist would do. But at that point, by the time I start sending the second email, I'm like, okay, at this point, I feel like I'm holding their hand and telling them, put this line here, put this line there, use this color. I don't want to do that. Especially if I'm paying $65, $85 and you guys are a big company. I feel like you should know what you're supposed to do. And the first thing you should do is communicate. Communicate with the customer and ask them, what is it that you want? What is it that you're going for? Oh, you know what? I really am talking too much. I could have went that way that I just went and went the back way. It's okay. It's okay. So yeah, by the third time was almost the charm. Here we are getting ready to pass by Northeast Mall. Passing by Northeast Mall. It seems like all these malls nowadays are kind of dying out. I went to this mall a lot when I first moved to Texas, and now so many stores have just closed down. Good old Northeast Mall. Anyhow. Yeah, by the third time I was going back and forth with them with the email. To be honest, I was almost thinking maybe I should just ask for my money back because they're not getting it right. And I know a lot of times when you send in a design to either a screen printing company or a printer or something like that, they're only going to give you so many proofs, right? For the most part, they're only going to give you 3 or 4. They're going to give you a maximum number of proofs. They're not just going to keep working on your design until you're happy. They're going to give you a certain amount, and typically they will try to charge you like a little extra money to continue to work on it. So that's something I didn't want to happen. That's why I was like, when I got that first set of proofs, I'm like, is this going to count against my revisions? If they're giving me a limited amount of revisions, is this going to count against me? That's why I was initially upset. And also because, like I said, they started on it without even asking me. So yeah, the third time was almost a charm. They pretty much gave me what I wanted. I kind of had to lay it out for them. I was like, look, and here's another thing. Again, I'm not a professional graphic artist person. I'm a little creative, but I know just enough to get myself in trouble. I end up going on Adobe because I have the Adobe suite, the Adobe Creative Suite. It's the same stuff I use to make my thumbnails with. It helps you remove the background. It helps you, add different things like that, and you can make thumbnails and flyers and Instagram stuff, whatnot. I end up going on Adobe myself, creating basically what I wanted them to put on there, which was based on that little clip. Like I said, if you look at the thumbnail and it's like a purple and white sign, it's just a generic sign I just ripped off the internet just to show them, hey, you see this? That's what I want, but I want it with my colors. And if you have room, I want you to put my logo somewhere. I thought that was pretty straightforward and easy. Look at this sign, recreate it with my colors, and if you have space, put a logo. And they were just doing all kind of crazy stuff. So yeah, I went on to Adobe and recreated the sign, and I sent it to them. And that's when they sent me back that third one. They were like, hey, how do you like this? And I don't know if you know about fonts or not, but when you're dealing with fonts and text, there's something called serif and something called non-serif. That Chevrolet truck in front of me, It has a non-serif font. It's very clean. There's no little clips and squiggles and all that stuff. When you look at like maybe, I don't know, is the money on a dollar bill? Or maybe that Bedford sign over there. I don't know if you can see that far. But on that water tower over there, the word Bedford is serif. It's got like that new old timey look where it's kind of like clipped, or it has little extra pieces hanging off the F and the B and stuff like that. The street sign above me is non-serif. It's clean. It has clean straight edges, and that's what I told them. I said I want my edges to be clean, or that's what I put on my numbers. That's what I put on my numbers, so that at a distance, maybe you can't see the sign, maybe you can't read the like if somebody's driving by in their car and they've only got time, like a split second, to remember something or to notice something. I want them to at least be able to remember the phone number, and they're not going to be able to remember it if they can't read it. So yeah, that third time around, they put the colors together the way I wanted to, even though they put it in a different order. And they put like this stylized number, which it wasn't bad. Like on a t-shirt, it'd be cool. It was kind of stylized, but I said, no, that's not what I gave you. I gave you something that was not plump and juicy. It was like plump and juicy numbers. That's the only way I can put it. Plump, juicy numbers with like little bubbles at the end or something. So I had to send them something back. I said, look, because they were going back and forth saying, hey, what do you think about this? I said, okay, we're getting close. And this time I had to tell them, look, the color's fine, don't change it. The stripes are fine, don't change it. The numbers are not clear enough. Please change the numbers. I think I was supposed to get off at that street too. You know what I'm finding out? I'm not very good at driving around while live streaming. Luckily, I know this side of town, so I know where I'm going. It's just that I don't drive this way often. Yeah, I should have got. Oh no, that's good. I don't have to get off there. I'm doing good. Oh, I think I know where I thought that was a different street. I'm good. I was gonna say, I'm not even looking at the camera, but the fact that I'm talking a lot, I guess I'm thinking about what I'm saying versus where I'm trying to go. I need to get off at Industrial is what I need to do, which is coming up in 3/4 miles. Okay, anyways, what else? You know what? If I could, I would change my thumbnail. I think it's more interesting to show footage of the road than the sign that I made. But you live, you learn. Another one of their revisions, they didn't even spell my business name right. And I guess a lot of people do get confused with it. Like, I'll tell people that my channel name is CatsDogsHarmony. I didn't say the word and, but people would say cats and dogs and what? I'm like, no, it's just Cats, Dogs, Harmony. And so guess what they put on the sign? Even though I gave them my logo and I told them my business name and I gave them the logo, and they still put on one of the revisions, Cats, Dogs, and Harmony. That's what they put on the sign. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. That's not my business name, but it's interesting. And they use the ampersand. They use the little and sign. Man, I was hot. I'm like, is this a professional company or what? Because this is y'all third or fourth time. I'm saying third or fourth because each time they gave me a revision, it was like 3 designs. And each of those 3 designs had something wrong with it. So that's why I'm saying it like that. But yeah, they called my company Cats, Dogs, and Harmony. There's no and in my name. And if the graphic designer is looking at my information, they should see that. It's just frustration upon frustration. But I went there yesterday. I just happened to be on that side of town. And I went by to, see the progress. But of course, they hadn't they don't start on the sign or they on the physical sign until you get approval. And I didn't see it. Their recent email was like, hey, how does this look? Proof number 4 was pretty much, what we're going to be seeing. Proof number 4 is what we're going to be seeing in about maybe 10 minutes or less. This is delicious. I don't know if it's healthier than Coca-Cola, but I switched up my drink today. I've been drinking a lot of Coke lately. I'm very excited. To take this next step in my my pet sitting business. I feel like I'm ready to level up. I feel like I'm ready to take on more clients because it's really touch and go right now. I don't remember which one of my live streams I talked about. I think it was the live stream where I said, what is it like to be a pet sitter over 40 or something like that? That's my daughter. Hopefully she doesn't text too much because I don't want to disturb it. On that live stream where I was talking about what is it like to be a pet sitter over 40, I was talking about my experience on Thumbtack. Working with Thumbtack has been pretty much what's been getting me my business. And now that I'm kind of getting used to that platform, I definitely feel like I'm ready to advertise and get more clients. I don't know if I've made too many videos about WAG. The WAG app is how I got started. I'm not happy with it at all. I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me, but because it did get me my first 50 walks, but man, it was like pulling teeth. Getting those 50 walks, it was very hard to do, and it's hard to maintain because the app is so glitchy, and it makes you look bad. There's stuff you're supposed to be doing on the app while you're dog walking or pet sitting, and sometimes it doesn't work. So it makes it look like you're not putting in the effort or you're not doing it. I even lost a job. I lost a job going up to South Lake or West Lake. I don't even take jobs that far away, but it was 2 or 3 big dogs, and it was an hour-long walk or sitting, and I was like, oh, okay, that'd be worth it. I'll get paid a little bit more money for that. And it was in a really posh neighborhood, like a gated community. So on the app, it will tell you if there's any codes or special access needs that you need. And so I went onto the app, and it told me how to get into the community gate, where the security guard is. But when I got to the person's house, they also had a gate on their yard, and I couldn't figure out how to get into the yard. It said once you get to the neighborhood, the dogs will be in this room. Go through the garage and get to this room. That's what it says on the app. But I couldn't figure out how to get through the gate. There was no keypad anywhere. And so I was trying to text the parent, and the app wasn't letting the messages go through. And I could see their messages coming to me, but my messages weren't going back. So the pet parent kept saying, are you on your way? Are you going to be able to make it? Are you there? And I'm like, yes, I'm here. What's the code to get in your gate? I don't see a keypad anywhere. How do you get in? They had a security camera at the front door. I kept waving at it just in case they were monitoring it. And I'm trying to show them and talk to. I was like, I'm Kenya. I'm here with WAG. How do I get in the gate? They ended up canceling on me and hiring another sitter who showed up. That person showed up. I should have stayed. Stuck around to see if they were going to get in. But I didn't want the girl to feel weirded out by me standing there and just watching her. But I told her, I said, hey, good luck if you can get in. I've been here for over an hour. I can't figure out how to get in the gate. There's no keypad anywhere. And she would have gotten the same information I would have because the pet parents put all the information in the app beforehand. I don't know. But if she would have had a chance to message the parents, maybe she could have directly messaged them, how do you get to the gate? But the messenger wasn't working for me. And that's not the first time. That's why I say the WAG app is not good, but it is how I got my start. So yeah, I'll give thanks. I'll give thanks to the WAG app. But Thumbtack is where it's at right now for me. Um, with WAG, they take 40% of your earnings. With Thumbtack, you have to put money in a budget for them to send you leads. So I guess back in, between the two of them, you're still paying. You're gonna pay to play. But yeah, I've got my first 4 clients on my first 4 non-WAG clients on Thumbtack, and then the lady that I'm watching her dogs now, she's a repeat person. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. Once I get this yard sign, again, I'm hoping I can get more local work. And I've also been thinking, I was also thinking, like I don't sell things, like I'm not a vendor or anything, but there are a lot of pet related events and festivals and goings ons like that where you can rent a booth or whatever. I was thinking if I can go to one of those and either rent a booth. I don't know what I would sell. Maybe I would, you know what? I would probably just sit there and just give away free dog treats. Like get a couple boxes of milk bones or something like that, or dog cookies, and just sit there for a couple of hours. And that would be my advertising. Sit under my booth, tell people about my YouTube channel, tell people about my dog sitting and dog walking and pet sitting. Uh, Maybe have like social media stuff out there. I wouldn't be selling anything. I'd just be selling the business, selling myself. And that would be another opportunity for me to like upuse or upcycle. Yeah, that would be another opportunity for me to reuse or upcycle the yard sign. I'd keep it in my yard as a permanent structure, which is actually something that Google Business requires to verify your business. Sometimes they want to see like an actual business sign. I would keep it in my yard like 99% of the time. But if I was to go out to an event or a festival or something like that, I would take that sign with me and post it up somewhere. Um, yeah, that's what I would do. And hopefully that will bring more business, bring more engagement, stuff like that. Okay, we're almost there. We're like a couple minutes away. This is Arlington. I just drove from North Fort Worth through North Richland Hills and Hearst and Bedford. And now we are in Arlington. I don't know if anybody's been saying anything in the chat because I haven't been looking at the camera. But if you did, I appreciate you. For that one lone survivor that seems to check me out from time to time, I don't know who you are, but I appreciate you. I salute you. I thank you. And I thank you for the thumbs up. I don't know how I'm gonna have this camera in there. I might just take it off and carry it. Because right now, like I said, it's on a tripod. But here we are. We are in Arlington off Lamar. And oops, I probably shouldn't put my blinker on that soon. There's 3 different entrances, and I want to go on this one right here. Okay, here we are. I don't know the name of this shopping center, but if you're in this area and you're looking for the fast signs, it's the one that's in the plaza with the Whole Foods and Whole Foods, Blaze Pizza, the Nothing Bundt Cakes place. And there's also a dog bakery right here. See that? The dog bakery. All right. Let's see. Fast signs, customer parking only. Good. Because I am a fast signs customer. And that's where I'm going to be going. All right. I feel pretty calm, but at the same time, I'm kind of like a little bit anxious. Sorry about all the movement. I had it like set in a way where it wouldn't move. There we go. Top chat, live chat, all. Okay, so nobody said anything. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything before I go in there. And yeah, I think I am going to just take this tripod and I'm going to let them know. Yep, I'm going to post a review about this and I'm putting this on my YouTube channel. As far as I can tell, there's no sign that says I can't. Okay, got my keys, got my wallet. And yeah, this might be a little awkward here because I got to grab this camera and tilt it at an angle. Actually, no, I don't. I can just pop this off the top. Carefully. Let me show you how I had it. I literally had my tripod there on high. I'm going to put it over here. I'm not going to put it on nobody's face. I'm going to just show. This is the big reveal for my sign. Okay. I'm going to aim it at the ground-ish. Okay. I don't know if you can probably see it over there. All right. What, do I need to sign anything or what's going on? Oh, okay. Let's see. I need to lift it up a little bit so people can see. Oh, so it is on both sides, yeah. Shoot, like that. Where am I at? I think I'm right here. Got too close to the sensor. Now, is there any maintenance or how do I make sure that I keep everything the way it's supposed to be, getting no rust, any cleaning or anything like that? And what about that bottom portion there? It looks like something goes there.
Yeah, put a rider.
A rider?
A rider is just a smaller sign that something on it. Later down.
And what is the pricing for those? Is that also aluminum or would that be like plastic, the corrugated plastic? Oh, okay. I might end up, I didn't even realize that I might do something with the social media part on there. So right here, I'm gonna take this outside. Thank you, mister. I appreciate it. I ain't even saying, but unless you want me to. Hi, how are you? I'm well.
Good. You get everything taken care of, right?
Get it taken care of, yeah. I appreciate it.
My car if you need anything.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Show it from this angle. Hopefully it's not too dark. Okay. So that's it. See that? Ooh. So let's see what we got here. It's quite dark. Let me go on the other side. Let me go on the other side. Oh yeah, makes much more sense to do it here. So I'm gonna set this up like so. Okay. And I might even use part of this for like a review. So as you can see, you got the website at the top. You got part of it in the blue, phone number in the white, and then pet sitter in the orange. And these colors are coming out of this. Now, I'm gonna give my honest review. I'm looking at it just the way you're looking at it. I'm looking at it from behind the camera. I see part of the R is clipped. So I feel like part of the R is clipped. So I feel like as far as the graphic design, the framing should have been taken into account for that. Maybe a little bit more of a margin for the numbers, but I think that'll be easy to read still. And then the logo sign at the bottom is clipped. It's clipped from where the frame is. We got a good margin around the top here. So you can see that part clearly. I think the text can be read clearly. But again, you got a slight margin to the left where it says dog. And then it's the lettering is clipped. So I am going to bring that to their attention. I think it's about the same. I think it's about the same distance on either side. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this? Um, yeah. Oh, and let me talk about the bottom part here. So I wasn't aware of this section here. He said a rider can go in here. So if I turn this around, and it's double-sided. If I turn this around, there's a lip here and a lip here, just like here, to keep things in place, and an extra sign can go there. So yeah, and that extra space down there at the bottom is what he called a rider. And what I would probably do is put social media information there. Or like I said, if I was at a festival or some type of event, I would put something maybe related to that. The bottom part is, I don't know what you would call it, but it's got the divots, sharp ends there. That would be going into the ground. And yeah, now on this side, I will say that on this side, because the framing is open, like the framing is closed on that side. The framing is closed on that side. Can you see my hand? Oh, okay. You can't see my hand. I've been making hand gestures and you can't see. The framing is closed on that side. And that black frame around is what was covering it up. This side is more open, so you can see the numbers and clearly. You can see this part clearly, where that was covered. And you can see this part. And so some of my initial complaints when I was going back and forth with the revisions is that for the graphic designer, I'm expecting them to keep that in mind. You see how it's clear on the numbers? That side, it's clear at the bottom here for the logo, and it's clear on the lettering there. It smells like fresh paint too. But here, I think whatever that is should have been taken into account for the graphic designer, knowing like, okay, so I write as well, right? So I've done some Kindle publishing, stuff like that. And I know that when you do ebooks and you want to print them out, you have what's called a bleed, or any kind of printing. You have a bleed, whether it's business cards, a book, or whatnot. And they're gonna take into account anything that's on those edges that's going to interfere with your design. You have to keep that into account. So you have to have a margin around there. As a graphic designer, that should have been taken into consideration. The same here, knowing that it was going to be, what is that, an inch, 3/4 of an inch. They should have taken into that account and had this either smaller or higher, and have this slightly reduced so that on the edge it will be the same on both sides, but without any interference on the edges. So that's what I'm going to go do now, is just bring that to their attention. If there's any correction that can be done, we'll see. But for graphic design, those are things that you got to know, and that I'm just a layperson talking about it. Let's see. So we got 4 people in the chat. We got 2 thumbs ups. I appreciate that. Let's go see what they have to say as far as expectations that were set and or met or not met. I am happy with this part at the bottom, with that extra rider part. I mean, for me, that's a bonus. For me and everything else, the way it came out, it does feel really good quality, solid. But just that and that, it would be like, if I was to give it a grade, I'd say an A, but like an A minus or maybe a B plus. Especially, yeah, it would be a B plus, especially considering the initial lack of communication. So let's go talk about that and see what, if anything, can be done to remedy. I got a question. Okay. I'm sure right there. Sure right there. Yeah, you can pretty much still see it. I talking to you or you?
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
Listen,
I didn't know if you were. I didn't want to interrupt you. So, in your professional opinion, doing this, do you see anything wrong? If so, how would it be remedied?
Well, we'll have to bring your logo at the bottom.
That's one, and the other one's just pretty much similar.
Yeah, your text on the right side is a little too far. The dog
Because your trim is a quarter inch.
Is it a quarter?
So
Okay,
everything's got to come in this way.
that's what I was looking at for the lettering on the R, and also for the logo on the bottom, which is not an issue on the opposite side because it's open. The framing is not closed, but is that something that typically occurs or that gets taken into account?
It typically happens most of the time, yeah. But we always can fix everything that people want. We just got to keep bringing it in and keep printing more and more stuff.
What I'm saying, like, okay, so I do some writing as well, and when you're printing, there's like the bleed area. Probably the same for you guys for any type of media. And I was thinking, I wonder why they didn't keep that into account, like that frame on the outside.
Sometimes we keep that in account, but when we have so much text, we kind of make sure we fill up the space, and then when we put it up, it's that way, and it normally fits perfectly. But if you want us to bring it in, we'll have to print a vinyl, do a black vinyl lay on top of that to save you from worrying about the other side.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'm not gonna do a redo. I just want to know what you saw, and also for anybody else who would be thinking about getting this, what they can do to prevent it, just to keep things in mind. Like, hey, there's gonna be an inch overlap on the sides. That's something to keep in mind, so that like even me as a customer will, oh, okay, if I send them something, let me shrink it beforehand, and or no, don't put anything important on that side that might get hidden. That could be read. I mean, you can see dog walk. Even if you can only see that dog walk, you're going to infer that that's an earth. So you can definitely still see it. It was just something that I was just like,
Yes.
was that overlooked? Or
No,
okay.
the more, for me visually, it's going to be the bottom.
And the logo, yeah. And I'm not too concerned about that because I don't really care for the text because it's hard to read. But it's something I've been using, so it's more for consistency use. If someone wants to go up to it, they can see it. But yeah. Okay.
For your logo.
And I asked that. I think I may have asked that as well. I think in one of the revisions, what they did was they took out the text and got rid of the image. And I said, I want the image. I hate the text. I said, can you do something with the image and get rid of the text? And I don't know if I got an answer back from that, but I just said, you know what, we're just gonna leave that as is, because it's something from a while back, and it is what it is, but it's not clear for signage. But for YouTube and whatnot, it's like, it's a thing where if you look at it a plus,
Well, it's yours. You've had it for so long, so you really can't change it.
Yeah.
And so I just think that if you use that logo, just make sure it's probably one of the larger pieces that you use to offset that logo.
Are your designers able to take something like that and separate it and remake or redesign?
As long as the artwork itself is what we call a vector format or a PDF or AI file, what that is that because they're all images put together. And so if it's already been flattened and kind of separated, it's going to be very hard. Now, to recreate it, like something similar to that, it's going to probably take some time because one, making sure they've got the right font, depending on what that font is.
Doing the font over.
Yeah.
Making it like the numbers where it's no stylization, keeping the colors, but like just making it where it can be read. Is that something that you guys do, or is that something I would have to do on my own and then bring in?
It's something we can do, but most of the time I always tell everyone, because everyone's so sensitive about their logo, I'm going to be honest with you. Everyone's sensitive about their logos, and they want it to have a certain look, a certain feel. And so I've always recommended that when you're looking at trying to do your logo or recreate the logo, there is an auction site that is online where you have 30 to 40 different people that are creating your logo based off of what you want. Because you may start here and you've got one person that's keep doing it. But within 48 hours, it's close. Yeah, within 48 hours, you can already have a logo of colors, design, and specs within 48 hours, because you end up working with 40-something people, but then you slowly start narrowing it down to 4 or 5 people. You're like, okay, can you change this? Can you change this? Can you change that? And then by the time you get to that final piece, you say, okay, now I like what you got, but I want to use this final person. And then now that final person is in your wheelhouse to where you get all your vector format files. You also receive your logo as pretty much yours, because now you have your own license of your own logo.
I think I've got, I think I do have that original file. I've never done anything with it, but okay. Okay. I was saying A- or B+. That's what I was getting at, just because of the edging there and that there.
As long as we having conversation versus a C, I think that's a
plus. Yeah, and also B-, B+ because of the initial start where it was like, well, we had already discussed that.
We had a conversation, yes, ma'am.
Anyway, thank you again for your time.
Oh, plenty of it.
All right, so y'all see it. This is what's going in the yard. It's going to be official here. And this is an unexpected bonus that I do like.
Yeah, so
that he called that rider.
So just in case with that little rider, it's just a simple piece. You can say open now, ready to go, for sale. So any
happy holidays. Just switch it up.
Yep, whatever you want.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, here we go again. I'm gonna move. Try not to be too herky jerky. Pardon?
What are you doing?
I'm live streaming.
Oh, you're live?
Yeah, that's why I said I'm gonna keep it either on the floor or just away from people's faces, because I respect people's privacy. But I did want to let people know this is the process, y'all. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing.
Okay.
This is what I really feel about it.
No, tell them come on see me, because we'll end up talking.
Okay. I showed them the sign. I had it posted up in the car so they could see how to get here and whatnot. But yeah, I appreciate it. And as you can see, they got their own social media as well. Let me go on the outside. Yeah, I better get away from the door. I'm gonna show this window. It probably won't show you. It might show a glare, but I'll do it at an angle. There we go. Follow us on these social media channels and SS Fast Sign. So there we are. So this is the fast sign in where I say I was at? In Arlington on Lamar Boulevard. Not too far from the Cowboy Stadium. So that's that. I'm going to put this away in my vehicle, and I got to cover you guys up for a second just because I'm leaning this up against the car and I don't want it to fall. But I'll get everything set back up in just a minute. All right. Careful. It's solid, but it's not too heavy. Gotta slide it down here. All right. And here we are. We're ready to rock and roll. Now, hopefully I'll have a moment to look at the chat. If anybody did say anything, now would be the time that I can respond before I get back on the road. But first, let's turn on some air, because this is Texas and it's the middle of the day. And even though it was 40, what did I say on the other live stream? Even though it's 43 degrees this morning, it's like 73 degrees. So it jumped 40 degrees, jumped 30 degrees. All right. Let's see. We got one person watching, a total of 2 likes. I did see 4 people in the chat at that moment. I'd like to know your input. What do you guys think about the new sign? Compared to how I was explaining things and, some of the challenges that I had along the way. And of course, the professional way that it was handled by both parties there at the end. What do you think? I'm going to move this back now. If you're coming to the chat now and you're late, well, you'll have to watch some of it on the replay. All right. After that, ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much wraps it up. Let's see if I can buckle myself in. Oh my goodness, I didn't turn on the air. Let's do it like this. Okay. So that pretty much wraps it up. There's my sign. That's what I'm going to be putting in my front yard. That number, in case you're wondering, is actually a Google number. That is I don't really have advice to give anyone. Yeah, I don't really have advice to give anyone, but I will tell you, for me, I found it to be helpful if you're promoting your business online and you don't want to use your personal number because of trolls or stalkers or just weird stuff, people being silly. Get yourself a Google number. I've been using this Google number for the better part of 8 years. So if you call this number, I'll be able to respond to it. I can communicate with it, but it's not going to bother me, bug me, and it's not actually attached to like my home, my personal home, because like I said, it's a Google Voice number. Now, the bad thing about having a Google Voice number is it's only activated on Wi-Fi. Yeah, it can't be a landline number. It has to be on Wi-Fi. So sometimes, depending on the reception on where I'm at, the phone calls are not all that good. And so I'll tell people all the time when I communicate with them, I'll tell them I prefer text. Excuse me. I gotta plug this phone in and it's gonna tilt. I'll tell people all the time, like on Thumbtack, pretty much I use this phone number everywhere. When I first started making YouTube videos with some of my shorts, and I was like doing dog jokes and just funny stuff, and I would have not this sign but my other sign up, and it said CatsDogsHarmony, pet care services, and it had the number. And in the beginning I was covering that number up just because I was like erring on the side of caution. I didn't want people like in YouTube calling my number, but if they happen to see it, it's not my personal number. So you're calling a business line. So I guess if they're bored, that's what they want to do. That's what they can do. But yeah, thank you so much for rocking with me in this live stream and following my journey as a dog walker and pet sitter. You've been hanging out with me as I'm taking care of some two precious poodles. You've got some of my insight on what it's like to be an over 40 pet caretaker, which is really not that much of a difference. But if you watch the other live stream, I would definitely do things different as a 20-something-year-old pet sitter as that I'm doing now, and vice versa. But yeah, little by little, I'm just kind of sharing a little bit more with you guys as far as what it's like to be a pet sitter, because most of what I'm seeing online, see if I can move that up. Yeah, most of what I'm seeing online is people always talking about how much money they made, which is good. Like, we all want to know that, right? But me, when I'm watching a vlogger, I want to know the good, the bad. You gonna let me turn, right, brother? Dang, he all on my booty bone. That's to say tail. That's to say something else. But yeah, let me let you turn around. Go the other way. Me, I'm the type of person where when I'm watching business videos, I don't only want to know like, oh, how much can you make with that money? I want to know, what is it actually like day to day? What is it like getting started? What are some of the failures that people make and some of the mistakes that are easy to make? That's what I want to do. Ooh, over here by Whole Foods, I should have got me a snack. I like their organic juices and the little vitamin C shots and stuff like that. Being safe. So yeah. Anyways, if you are into more of the funny stuff, check out some of my shorts. I'm always talking about that towards the end as I'm wrapping up. If you're into the more like funny dogs and funny cat stuff, that's typically what I do when I make my shorts. If you want to know more about things in and around Fort Worth, it's apartments, cat cafes, where to take your animal for low cost or no cost vaccinations, where to get your dog microchip, places, stuff like that. I make that on my long form content, so you can just go labeled videos. And I also have playlists, so look at the different playlists that I've got together, see if any of those are beneficial to you, share them with your favorite pet parents. And if you just want to hang out with me and do my wag, walk, and talk like I've been doing with the boys, the poodle boys, or if you want to follow along with me when I'm doing things like picking up my sign or any of the more like businessy aspect stuff or a day in the life of stuff, hang out with me here in the chat. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me. Let me know your honest opinion about the sign. I gave you my honest opinion. I told the business person my honest opinion, and I'm very proud of myself. Do you know why I'm proud of myself? Because I'm a very non-confrontational person. I'm the type of person where if you make me soup that's too salty, I will eat that soup crying the whole time and not complain because I don't want to hurt your feelings and I don't want to make a big deal of it and yada yada yada. And I even do that comes to making money. You know, there's a lot of times when I'm not happy with something. I won't say anything because I don't know. I've just never been comfortable with that. But I think I handled myself very well today. I don't like making people look bad. I don't like people making me look bad, and I don't like making people look bad. So, that's why I said I wanted to be respectful in there. I didn't want to show anybody's face, and I didn't want to like call anybody out, but I did want to be honest and say, I'm happy, but not completely. Things could have gone a little bit better, and so I'm proud of myself that I was able to voice my opinion without being like rude or unnecessary about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. Because I'm not a people person. The social anxiety, the social anxiety didn't kick in today, and I'm happy about it. But a lot of times it does, and it makes me unhappy afterwards because I don't speak up for myself, and I just let things happen to me instead of making things happen. Anyways, I see people popping in and popping out, and I always see that lone person in the chat. That's, I don't know. You feel like my Jiminy Cricket or something. Well, Jiminy Cricket talked. You don't talk, but you feel you. It's like a companion. It's an invisible companion. So whoever you are, I appreciate you. Um, it is a form of support, and I do appreciate it. So yeah, thanks. All right, I'm about to head on the road and put this sign up, and I might make a community post about it. I gotta find a way to do it where that you're like not able to see my house, because this is for people that live with me. This is not for YouTube and the rest of the world. I'm not trying to invite stalkers and crazy folks to my house. This is for my community. But I might try to take a picture in a way that you can just see, like, ta-da! Daniel Games came back. Hello, hello, hello. I'm getting ready to wrap it up. You got to watch the replay. You see the sign in the back? I just picked up my official dog walking sign. And yeah. Anyways, I'm getting ready to get on the road. And thank you again for watching. Share me out with your favorite pet parent. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Congrats. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm trying to do, I don't want to be a hustler. I want to be an actual business person. But it is a hustle. Man, I'm trying to turn this off and it's not letting me turn it off. There's too much on my screen.